ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of the puja or worship, the science of worship. Now we shall start the proper puja class. Before going into the proper ritualistic portion of the puja class, I just wanted to make a little discussion. That is, today, yesterday, in the last class, we finished the Pushpa Shuddhi, purification of the flower. Today's discussion is on Divya Vighna Nivaranam. Pushpa Shuddhi is over, you have seen that. Om Shatabhishekam Fat Swaha and all those things. Pushpe Pushpe Mahapushpe Supushpe Pushpa Sambhave Pushpashya Kirne Chahum Fat Swaha. So that was the mantra on Pushpa Shuddhi. We have gone through that in detail. Today, the portion or the part of worship which we are dealing is Divya Vighna Nivaranam. Divya Vighna Nivaranam. So, meaning removal of celestial obstacles and fencing the quarters. Now, care is being taken that no obstacles of any kind, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika and Adi Daivika. When we are telling the Vedic chanting or Veda mantra or Shanti Pata, at the end of the mantra, we generally tell 3 times Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So you know why we tell the peace, pray for the peace of a removal of the Tapatraya, the problem which we can, the obstacles which we can face from these 3 quarters. What are they? Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika and Adi Daivika. What is Adi Bhautika? Those relating to the elements to one's own body. The problem which can come from one's own body is Adi Bhautika. So for the removal of the obstacles and problems of that from the body, then Adhyatmika, the problems and obstacles which can be created from unforeseen natural causes which may create hindrance to the worship. So then Adi Daivika, the obstacles or problems which can be created from the gods and goddesses or different deities like Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varuna or other some other deities is called Adi Daivika. So to remove those obstacles, care is being taken that no obstacles of any kind, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika, Adi Daivika, those relating to the elements, to one's own body, mind, and to unforeseen natural causes create any hindrance to worship. By sprinkling water all round the worship room, that is the sanctified water, which is in the Koshika. We have done the Samanya Arghya and Amritikarana has been done, which has been transformed through the mantra and our feelings into Amrita, the nectar like. So, sprinkling that water, sanctified water, all round the worship room, one erects as it were a fort encircling the worship. No obstacle or disturbance of any kind can enter this impenetrable fort. The worshipper is now free to perform the worship in complete peace. This is the idea behind the Divya Vighna Nivaranam and Dik Bandhanam, removal of celestial obstacles and fencing the quarters. So, Divya Vighna Nivaranam, the obstacles which can come from the unforeseen natural causes. Digbandhanam, fencing the quarters. So we are now proceeding to learn this process, how to do this process. So now we have given the picture there on the screen for the different directions, and the mantra has also been put there. That is, the mantra generally is in Sanskrit. We have transliterated into English and we have put there. Now, how to do or how to perform this ritual of Divya Vighna Nivaranam and Digbandhanam Cha. So I'll first teach you the pronunciation of the term there. The step Divya Vighna Nivaranam. I will repeat it again. You can chant that after me. Divya Vighna Nivaranam. So Divya Vighna. The Gha is the second one, Mahaprana, not the Ga. Ghna. Divya Vighna Nivaranam. And the other next part is Digbandhanam Cha. Digbandhanam Cha. So that is a pronunciation. Now uttering the Mula mantra, we have to chant the mantra, Mula mantra. What is Mula mantra? So Mula mantra is the mantra of the deity to whom the worship is performed. So there are different types of mantras, Bija mantra, Mula mantra, Mala mantra. Like that, there are different types of mantras. So if the letter just contains one letter syllable and performing in it in different way, the seed form, it's called Bija mantra. So Mula mantra is another type of mantra which can have 10 to 11 letters. So Mula mantra here is the mantra of the deity to whom the worship is performed. So now if it is Ganesha's worship, the Mula mantra of Ganesha is to be told. If it is Shiva's worship, we have to chant the Shiva mantra, Shiva Mula mantra. If it is Vishnu's, we have to chant the Vishnu's Mula mantra or any particular deity. If it is Durga, it is the Durga Mula mantra. So in worship of Ramakrishna, we are chanting the Mula mantra of Sri Ramakrishna. So what is the Mula mantra of Ramakrishna? The worshippers of Ramakrishna have to do here, uttering the Mula mantra of Sri Ramakrishna, that is Om Aim Sarva Deva Devi Swarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. This is the Mula mantra of Sri Ramakrishna that is to be chanted. That is to be how. What is that meaning and other things? Om Aim is a Bija mantra which denotes, which represents Mother Saraswati. It can also represent knowledge, and it stands for pure consciousness. We know that Bija mantra means the single celled syllable which completely gives the meaning or the particular deity strength is encapsulated in that Bija mantra. Just like the whole tree is encapsulated, is potent inside a seed, Bija. Likewise, Bija mantra also contains the whole strength of it is potent or latent in that particular seed mantra. Seed is a single syllable. So Aim represents Mother Saraswati, Bija mantra for Saraswati, and also it is for pure consciousness. It is also representing this Bija mantra for Guru. I have given about these Bija mantras, Aim, and so many other things in the last class. Now we will go forward. Om Aim Sarva, all Deva, gods, Devi, goddesses, Swarupaya, of the form of Sri Ramakrishnaya, Ramakrishna Namaha. I bow down to him. How is Sri Ramakrishna called as Sarvadeva Devi Swarupa? So different gods and goddesses in our Hindu pantheon, Hindu religion, we have more than 330 million gods. What are they representing? God is only one. That is formless, attributeless. That is, we call it as Nirguna Nirakara Parabrahma. Formless, attributeless. So that God who is formless and attributeless, Nirakara Nirguna Parabrahma, for the sake of human beings like us who are very ordinary, who needs help, who cannot think of formlessness, it's very difficult to imagine formless. if you just tell to concentrate on formless or infinity, we don't get any idea. Even the highest intellectual person cannot even imagine about that. So only very high spiritual seekers who have gone very much forward in spiritual life, they can think of formless, attributeless, and infinity. Otherwise, it is not easy. Our mind, our intellect, everything is prepared for thinking about finite things. So here, God will, out of compassion, take different forms and ideals to help the jivas, the living beings, to rise up to his level, progress in, will evolve in spiritual life. So he will set from the lowest to the highest different ideals for us to move upwards step by step. So just like we have the in the first grade or the first standard, the teacher there is the ideal for the first grade students or the first standard student. So then we pass from there, then go to the next standard. We give up everything there. So the next ideal is the second grade teacher or the second standard teacher. So that teacher will be setting as the ideal, and we go forward, take that teacher as the ideal and go up to the next. Like that, the same one Lord who is attributeless, who is formless, is taking all these different forms of the deities to set different ideals, different forms according to our why different forms. All individual different people have different tastes and likings. So to appeal to the liking, so that we may like that and go forward, take that form. Just like sweet is the same thing. It is made out of sugar or jaggery, or the other things which may be used in basin or some powder, and you make different. You don't like to taste that sweet in one form. You make hundreds and thousands of different sweets and try to like eat it, taste it. Sweet may be only made out of sugar and these three or four things, but each person likes different formation of sweets and quality of sweets. Everyone will not like the same sweet, though it belongs to the sweet category. Likewise, different people, because of their taste, inner taste, because of their different, they are at the different stages of evolution, they will start liking different things. So here God, out of his infinite compassion, takes different forms, different, and sets different ideals. Just like Ganesha stands for the ideal of Matru Bhakti, education, Brahmacharya. Then Rama stands for Ekapatni Vratastha, then his obedience to his father, Pitruvakya Paripalaka, Satyavakya Paripalaka, then Praja Samrakshaka, like that, all these ideals, qualities, character are seen in perfection in Sri Ramachandra. Krishna for Tyaga and so many other things. Hanuman for the ideal of the relationship with God as servant master relationship and karma yoga. Like that, all deities represent different ideals and principles. So there are 330 millions gods and goddesses. So there are also different paths for us to move towards that spiritual of highest goal. So Ramakrishna, as an avatara, he realized all gods and goddesses. Suppose you want to realize God, you meditate upon God. That means you like that ideal of that particular god or goddesses. So you want to get that, inculcate that ideal into your personality. So you meditate, you do puja of that god or goddesses. So likewise here Ramakrishna took up from the beginning after realizing Divine Mother Kali. He went on experimenting, doing so many. He made his own body as a or personality as a laboratory and started realizing different various gods and goddesses and paths, religions, and everything. Not only of India. In India, there are so many varieties. From the time of the creation up to now, whatever there are so many different paths, so many different ideals, everything he experimented and realized that in his life. So all the gods and goddesses they stand for these different ideals, different paths, while moving towards that higher evolution that is realizing your own self, realizing the highest Godhead. That is the reason he is called Sarva Deva Devi Swarupa. He has realized all the ideals, not that he is very great God or he is the highest or something like that. He has realized because all gods and goddesses are the same aspect of one God, the highest God. So there is no high and low, it is the same God. So here, what is the meaning? He has realized, he has that ideal all the ideal of different gods and goddesses can be found in Sri Ramakrishna because he went through them, he realized all of them. That's why he's called Sarvadeva Devi Swarupa. So to explain about that Sarvadeva Devi Swarupa, it may take up 2 hours in details. So now because we have to concentrate on the puja class, I am not going in for that. Om Aim Sarva Deva Devi Swarupaya Sri Ramakrishnaya Namaha. That is the Mula Mantra of Sri Ramakrishna. You have to repeat that. Uttering this Mula Mantra, look in the upward direction because we are trying to remove the obstacles from the Divya Vighna Nivarana. So from the removal of the celestial obstacles. So we have to look in the upward directions, uttering that mantra, imagining that the celestial obstacles are removed thereby. Now, what is the next process? With the forefinger and the middle finger of the right hand joined together, clap at the left palm 3 times at different levels, one higher than the other, uttering Fat. I have given you the meaning of Fat in the earlier classes in detail. I have gone to the detail of that. It's also taken as a single celled Bija mantra, though it doesn't give any particular meaning. It's just a motion to chase away the enemies and obstacles which may create problems, the internal and external obstacles. Just like when you tell that you want to chase away some birds or something, what do? You just clap the hands, tell pat, chal pat, you'll tell in Hindi or some other languages. Pat means you are trying to chase an emotion. By telling that word, you'll be trying to chase the obstacles, chase away, make the enemies and other things to run away. So that in that sense, this pat is used. So now, what is the process here in this Divya, Vigna, Nivarana and Digbandhana? This is the palm. So on this, you have combined the 2 fingers, that is the forefinger and the middle finger. So you have to unite them like this. And this is the palm. Then you have to clap it like this. At one level here, pat. Second level little higher, pat. And little higher, pat. So this is the process here. So you have to clap with the 4 fingers and the middle finger joined together on the palm like this. Not both the hands, the clapping is different. But here the clapping is done with the 2 fingers, middle finger and the forefinger joined together. So the palm at different levels, 3 levels. What is that level? One, that you have to utter fat little higher, fat another little higher, fat. So this clapping is done. So when you utter the fat and clap, so we feel that internally it is an emotion by which you are chasing away all the obstacles, all the enemies, not only internal and external too. So now we will go forward to see what is the next step. So we have seen with the forefinger and the middle finger of the right hand joined together, clap at the left palm 3 times at different levels, one higher than the other. I have demonstrated it to you. So uttering Phat, the Bija mantra or syllable Phat, then snap the tip of the right forefinger against the thumb 8 times overhead. Now you know snapping. Now we snap with the middle finger and the thumb like this. We make that sound. But here in this process, in the Divya Vigna Nivarana and Digbandhana, we have to snap, make that sound, snapping sound with the thumb and forefinger, not from the middle finger. Generally, we do it in the middle finger, but we have to do it here in this process in the ritual with the forefinger and the thumb. The snapping has to be done. So you know how to snap it like this. The sound, chit chit sound will come, the snapping through that. So you snap it, these two. So nothing else. It's very simple, snapping. So where should we snap? So on the top, starting, so the direction is given there. On the screen you can see the different direction is given. So I will explain you the process, how it is to be snapped. I have demonstrated you what is snapping here and how we have to snap. Again I will read that and also explain it to you. Then snap the tip of the right 4 fingers in the right hand. Forefinger against the thumb 8 times. Why 8 times? Overhead, overhead here around the head, overhead in that direction like this. Overhead, you have to, so over the head you have to do. I will just demonstrate it afterwards, but I will go take you through the process first. So starting from the east, you have to start snapping 8 times overhead along the 8 directions. How many directions? Ashta dik. Dik means direction. That's why you can see that fencing of the quarters is that digbandhana. Dik means directions, quarters, 8 quarters or 8 directions. Bandhana means you are fencing it. Digbandhana, that's the meaning, you are fencing of the quarters or the directions. So dik means direction or quarters. So bandhana means you are fencing it. So here the 8 directions. What are the 8 directions? How are to we start? We have to start with overhead along the 8 directions starting from east. First you have to do with the east. So I can't tell you which is east in your place. You have to search for that. For me, east starts here, this side. Sitting here in Johannesburg, for me, the east direction is here, this side. So I will snap from the east once, but overhead, but okay. Then after that, after the east, how you have to do the fingers along the snap these fingers, the starting from east and ending with the northeast. So you have to go to now east, southeast, south, southwest. So east, then for us here if it is the north, east, that is the west. Then that is the north, this is the south. So we have to go from east to the southeast, then south direction. Then the next direction is the southwest, then west, the west direction, the northwest, and north, then northeast. So this is the direction I started. Then you go to the next, all 8 direction overhead and coming. That's the snapping, and you are fencing the quarters by this. So you have to tell each time when you are snapping, you have to tell the mantra Phat. Okay, I'll just demonstrate it. I will again go take you through that. Then snap the tip of the right forefinger against the thumb 8 times, because there are 8 directions overhead above your head along the 8 directions starting from east and ending at the northeast. So what is the 8th thing we have to do? I'll start in the east direction here. This is my east, Phat. Then the next direction from the east is southeast, Phat 2. Then after southeast it's the south, Phat. Then southwest, Phat. Then west, Phat. Then northwest, Phat. Then north first, then northeast, Phat. So it started with the east, I ended with the northeast, one whole round over the head. So that is the way we have to do the fencing of the quarters. So we have done it now. So there are, now we have finished the 8 directions. See, this is the length and breadth. Now it went in that one dimension. Now there are the whole thing 3 dimension now. So what are the 2 more directions which we have to fence? Other than the 8 directions, we have 2 more. So it is 10. 2 more, it makes 10 direction. What are they? Now we covered the whole in the 2 dimensional thing. Then 3 dimensional is above and below the 2 direction. So again we have to do the snapping. Snap these fingers also along the downwards and upwards direction. So first we have to do at the downward direction, Phat below, and upward direction, Phat above. So Adaha means downwards, Upari means above. So the 8 directions, you're starting with east, then ending with northeast, then below and above. So totally it is 10 directions. Dik, Dik means it is the directions. Bandhana means you are fencing it. You are removing the obstacles so that you are fencing it because no other further obstacle should come. You are fencing it. So now 8 direction starting with east to northeast, then Adaha below, Upari above. So snap these fingers also along the downwards and upward directions. During all these snappings, utter the mantra Phat, Bija mantra, which is the emotion which is used to chase enemies, demons, the ghosts, and other negative forces. internal and external. But here we are concentrating on the celestial. So that's why over the head we do that. We see in the upper direction and tell the Mula Mantra, then we started it, then above and below in all the directions. We are chasing away all the negativity and also the evil forces. The mantra is used but to do that. Okay, we have finished now. Divya Vighna Nivaranam. So now we are going to the next step. We have seen completely in detail how to do the Divya Vigna Nivaranam, Digbandhanam cha, removal of celestial obstacles and fencing the quarters. We are now going to the next step, that is Bhumi Vigna Nivaranam. What is the meaning of this Bhumi Vigna Nivaranam? Now that Bhumi Vigna Nivaranam is demonstrated, it is there, given there. In English it has been translated Bhumi, 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 Vighna, Vighna, Vighna. So it should be Vighna. They have made a spelling mistake. I see that the spelling mistake is there. Vigh. It is not an. Vighna, Na. So the mistake is Vighan. Vighan. It has been done. It's a mistake. It should be Vighna. Vighna Nivaranam. Nivaranam. So I have corrected that spelling mistake there. Bhumi Vighna Nivaranam. Removal of terrestrial obstacles. So now, what is the mantra again? The mantra here is only Phat. So what is to be done? We'll go through that. How to do the removal of the terrestrial obstacles from the ground. The obstacles which are in the ground now. The earlier one was the terrestrial one. The what you call of the celestial. Now it is of the terrestrial, from the ground, from below. What is to be done? Uttering the mantra Phat. Strike the ground. You are sitting on the asana. So other than the asana, you can have the scene, the ground there. Just in front of the asana, there is the ground directly. 3 times gently with the left heel. So the picture of the heel has been done. How to strike it has been shown there. You are sitting. In the sitting posture itself, you are sitting in a Sukhasana or Ardha Padmasana. You remove that slowly, the left leg. So with the left heel, the heel of the left leg, remove it from that asana Sukhasana and strike the ground, uttering the mantra Phat 3 times gently with the left heel. The picture has been given. The mantra also has been given. I will again take you through the process. What is that? Bhumi Vighna Nivarana. First we shall learn the chanting of this step. How to chant it? Bhu. It is not Bhu. It is Mahaprana. You are using more energy. There are 2 consonants in that Ba, Bha. When you add Ukara, that is the vowel U, it becomes Bu. If you add it to the Mahaprana, Bhu, Bha, it becomes Bhu. So Bhumi is the word there. Bhumi, Mahaprana. Bhumi, Vighna. Gha is also Mahaprana, that's why Vighna. Niva, Va is elongated. What is that term called in the Swara? The Dirga and Hrasva. Pluta. Hrasva is, you have the uttering, you take only 1 unit of time. So there the difference in the consonant is your energy, prana, how much of your lung energy you are using. If you are using more lung energy, it becomes Mahaprana. Prana is lung energy or energy, any energy. So here we consider the lung energy, how much you use the energy of the lungs. So it is more lung energy, it is Mahaprana. Bhu is Alpa Prana, little energy. Bhu is from the lungs, it's coming more. So it is Mahaprana. Bhumi, Vighna. Now Va, Nivaranam. Va is elongated. In the consonants, that is the Alpa Prana and Mahaprana. Here in the vowels, it is A, A, Hraswa, Dirgha, 1 unit of time, it is time here. There it is energy. Here it is time in the vowels. 1 unit of time, it's called Hraswa. 2 unit of time, it is called Dirgha. 3 and more unit of time, it is called Pluta. A, that is Hraswa Dirgha. Then Pluta is A. So Nivaranam is Dirgha. Bhumi Vighna Nivaranam. That's the way you have to chant it. Meaning is removal of terrestrial obstacles. That's the ground. Uttering the mantra Phat. So all this removal of the obstacles, because that is the emotion by which uttering that sound, it creates emotion by which the enemies, the ghosts, the negative forces are chased away. When you utter that bija mantra Phat, uttering the mantra Phat, strike the ground 3 times gently with the left heel. The left heel has been shown, the portion of the heel, so that you should not get confused. But you are sitting there on the asana in the Ardha Padmasana, or it may be Sukhasana. You are sitting in the Sukhasana. So in the sitting posture on the asana itself, slowly remove your left leg. Then not on the asana, it should be struck on the ground, the bare ground. There should be nothing there in the ground. So you should not strike on the asana. You are sitting on the asana. You should strike this with the heel, the ground, 3 times, uttering the Bija mantra Phat. So that is removal of terrestrial obstacle. So now we have finished this process, the removal of terrestrial obstacles, which is called Bhumi Vighna Nivaranam. So we are going to the next step. Today we have covered, the earlier one was Pushpa Shuddhi. Today we have started with the Divya Vighna Nivaranam. Then the next step is Bhumi Vighna Nivaranam. We are going to the next step. What is that? Antariksha Vighna Nivaranam. So what is the meaning, simple meaning of that Antariksha Vighna Nivaranam? It is removal of obstacles related to the sky. Antariksha, sky. Removal of obstacles related to the sky. So let us chant it. Learn how to chant that, utter that mantras. Okay, it's not the mantra, it is the step. Antarikshasi, in Sanskrit there are terms, conjoined words. 2, 3 or 4 letters can be joined together. It is called Yuktakshara or Sanyuktakshara. Yukta Akshara or Sanyuktakshara. They are conjoined letters. 2 letters or 3 letters together, you can join them. So it's called conjoined letters. So Sanyuktakshara or Yuktakshara. So here you can see na and ta joined together. Nta, anta. So 2 letters are combined. So it is Yuktakshar or Sanyuktakshar. Anta Riksha Vighna Nivaranam. Together the pronunciation is Antariksha Vighna Nivaranam. So again Ga is Mahaprana, so Ghna. That is also Yuktakshara Ghna. Gha and Na together. One word. Antariksha Vighna Nivaranam. Meaning, so you have learned the chanting of that step. Removal, I have to find out whether the spelling is correct there written, because for you, you may write it down or copy it down. Antariksha, A-N-T-A-R, Anta, R-I, Antarik, R-I-K-S-H-A, Riksha, Vighna, V-I-G-H-N-A. Here the Vighna is typed properly. There in the earlier the Vighna was written wrongly. So it is correct here. Vighna, Vighna Nivaranam, Nivaranam. If there is a stroke on the head of A, that means it is elongated. So if it is no stroke, then it is just Hrasva, 1 unit of time. Alpa, not Alpa Prana, Hrasva, Vighna. Here Vighna Niva is Dirgha Nivaranam. So on the head of A, there is a stroke like this, indicating that is elongated, it is Dirgha. So if there is any stroke on any of the letter, that means it is elongated, Dirgha. Antariksha Vighna Nivaranam. Removal of the obstacles relating to the sky. So I've written there in English, translated that term so that you can easily pronounce it. So and all the diacritical marks have been put there so that you can pronounce it. And I've also uttered that, chanted that, so that you can remember it. If you can record it or you can write it down, so then you can repeat it again and again, then that pronunciation will be clear. So what is the mantra and what is the process? We shall go through the process of Antariksha Vigna Nivaranam, removal of obstacles relating to the sky. So taking a small quantity of water, as I told you, here afterwards, the here afterwards means after finishing the Samanya Arghya, we sanctified the water. We have invoked all the 7 rivers, sacred rivers, Gange, Yamune, Chaiva, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmade, Sindhu, Kaveri, Jalesmin, Sanidhin Kuru. So they have assembled there with Ankusha Mudra. We did that process. Then after that, we did the Dhenu Mudra there and showed that and made it into Amriti Karana. Then we made it nectar like. So the water is sanctified. We have worshipped that water too. So now we are keeping some blade of this darba grass. Darba grass is tied together. It's a dried grass. It's a very sacred grass which is used in puja and all other shraddha ceremony. So that is made into with 4 or 5 things short, that darba grass things. We tie it with red thread, then keep it there in this koshika. So we take that water and sprinkle. It is used for sprinkling. Suppose you don't have that, then you can use some flour or belvapatra itself, whatever is there in that. We will have put some flour. You can do the sprinkling to the flour also. Otherwise, generally, according to the rules, we have to keep this darba grass tied together, 4 or 5 or 6 together with a sacred thread or a red thread. Keep it there. Then with that, you have to do the sprinkling process. So whenever we tell the water is sprinkled, it is the sanctified water from the Samanyarghya and also with this darba grass. So I have told you, whenever you have to sprinkle, so you have to use that particular thing, darba grass, and the water should be the sanctified water, purified water, because we are trying to purify everywhere. That is nectar like. When you sprinkle it, the whole area will become sanctified. So what is the process here? Antariksha Vigna Nivaranam. Take a small quantity of water. Here the water is from the Samanyarghya, Koshika. But now it is not sprinkling. When you are sprinkling only, you have to do with the flower or the darbakaras. But here it's a different thing. What are you supposed to do? Taking a small quantity of water in the right hand, like this. In the right hand, you take a little water, throw it upwards. See, take it in the right hand, throw it upwards. Repeating, what is the mantra? So you are throwing it in the upward direction and repeating the mantra, Astraya Phat. So if there are any astras, arms, there are so many astras, astra and shastra. So astra means by repeating the mantra, so many astras can be put, just like Brahmastra, Varunastra, Agnyastra, Vishnuastra, Narayanastra. There are so many astras, missiles, something like missiles. But this is not exactly like missile, but this is been energized by the mantra. By Brahmastra mantra, you can energize even a blade of grass. That itself will become a weapon. So it is not like our physical missiles and other things. It is something divine. So they are called astra. By mantra, you will energize that. So the gurus would teach that mantra. By chanting that mantra, you get that, and telling that mantra, you energize anything. And if it is an arrow, well and good, or any other things could be done. So we know that story in Ramayana. You might have you might be remembering the story in Ramayana when Rama was sitting with Sita. Indra's son was infatuated by the beauty of Sita, comes to take the form of a crow and tries to trouble Sita by picking her or doing something. Then Rama comes to know that and takes a blade of grass there and does that Brahmastra mantra. He energizes that even a blade of grass and throws it towards that crow. Then crow will be afraid of that Brahmastra and tries to run away. It goes to Indra, it goes to everybody, nobody could help it. Then it comes back to Rama and surrenders him. Then Rama mm, will not kill it, but one eye of the crow will be gone. The eye would be damaged. Because Brahmastra should be taken back only by doing something like that. So he damages only the eye of that crow. one eye and the other eye was left. So that story you all know from Ramayana. So the astra, even the grass was turned into astra by mantra. So the astra was energized by the mantra. So here so many astras from the upper regions, that is the relating to the sky antariksha, from the different deities. That's why I told you three type of tapatraya are there. Tapatraya. Traya means three, tapa means problems, troubles. So from the Adi Daivika, from different gods and goddesses, the not the capital G god, but the small g, I told you, Indra, Vayu, Agni, Varuna, those gods. So the Gandharvas, the Naga, Yaksha, Kinnara, and other things are there. So they may have put some astras which may come and trouble us during our puja. So by taking that water, sanctified water from the nectar like water from the Samanyargya, you throw it upwards with the mantra Astraya Phat. Let that be destroyed. All the astras, the arms there, the obstacles there be destroyed. Telling that mantra. So now all the astras from different direction which has been there will be removed. The obstacles. So taking a small quantity of water in the right hand like this, throw it upwards, repeating Astraya Phat. So now we have finished Antariksha Vighna Nivaranam. Now we are moving to the next step. So after the Antariksha Vighna Nivaranam, we are moving to the next step. What is the next step? It is Devata Puja Dravyadi Shuddhihi. Devata Puja Dravyadi Shuddhihi. That is the next process. Now I will teach you how to chant that step. Devata Puja Dravyadi Shuddhihi. Can you please chant it after me? Devata Puja Dravyadi Shuddhihi. It is in Sanskrit, so it has been translated into English with all the diacritical marks. So it has been displayed there on the screen. I will again read the spelling. If there is any spelling errors, I can correct it now itself. Devata, see on the A, DE, first one DE, you have put that stroke on the head. That means that they has to be elongated, or it is Dirgha. DE is Devata, Ta is also elongated, it is Dirgha. So on the head of A, they have put that stroke. That means it is to be the Dirgha, elongation. Devata, Puja, Pu. So Pu is also elongated. It's Mahaprana. So Pu on the U also the elongation mark has been put. Ja, Ja, that is also elongated. That is Dirgha. Puja, Dravya. So there is no elongation or anything. It's all Hraswa, Dravya. Adi, Dravya. Again, Ya, Ya is elongated. That is the Dirgha. Dravyadi. A. You can see the stroke on the A. So Devata Puja Dravya Drayadi Dravyadi Shuddhi is purification. The meaning of Shuddhi means purification. Shuddhi. Shuddhi. That is the pronunciation. So there is Sanyukta Akshar again. Ddhi. So the words two or three consonants and letters swaras are joined. So it becomes Shuddhi. So conjoined letter, Yuktakshar or Sanyuktakshar, Thi. And Mahaprana is also there. Dha is not the first one, it is second one, Mahaprana, Thi. So the Alpa Prana and the Mahaprana both are been conjoined there. So it is Dhi. Okay, Shuddhi, conjoined letter. So what is the meaning of it? Purification is Shuddhi of deity. What is deity? Devata. And articles of worship, Dravyadi. Dravya Adi means articles of worship and other things. So purification of the deity and articles of worship. This is the process. So we have learned the chanting of that step Devata Pujadi Dravya Shuddhihi. Then the meaning is purification of the deity and articles of worship. Okay, we will see now. Go to the process. The mantra is given there. What are the mantra has to be chanted on the screen, and also the Dhenu Mudra which has to be shown here also has been displayed. I have also taught you in the earlier classes how to do the Dhenu Mudra. It's a little tough one, but I think many times I have demonstrated it in the earlier classes, and also the picture is there. Now you can learn that easily. So now here, what is the process? How to do the purification of the deity and articles of worship? Uttering the mantra. Om, Aim, Pat. Om, you know the sound Om, everybody is familiar with that. Then Aim is the Bija mantra, the seed syllable of Saraswati or Guru or pure consciousness, knowledge. Aim, Pat. Pat is the Bija mantra used to, it's the emotion which expresses to chase away, to make the enemies or the obstacles to run away. So that is a Pat. So we are using all these three here. It is written there in English, Om, Aim, Pat. Many a time we write AIM. So that's why people who know only English will start chanting it as aim. AIM means aim, goal. So they will start chanting it as aim. It is not aim. The pronunciation is aim. So when it is stopped, last time I told you the pronunciation, it should stop in the nasal word, aim, there itself. Ma is only used in the ending of the sentence. Then it can be made as aim. Or else, what is the next letter? Now there is Pat, P. So what group does it belong in the consonant? Papa, Baba, Ma. There the Anunaska is Ma. So you can chant it easily with Ma. Om, Aim, Pat. So that is the mantra is to be chanted. I will again teach you how to chant the mantra and also the process. That is the Devata Pujadi Dravyadi Devata Puja Dravyadi Shuddhihi. So uttering the mantra Om, Aim, Pat. Om, Aim, Pat. I think you are chanting. Om, Aim, Pat. It's not aim. You should be careful. It is Aim. That's why to make you understand, I have put only I and M. So I is elongated. I have put the strokes on the head of the I to indicate that it is elongated or it is Dirgha. Aim, Om, Aim, Pat. That is the way to chant the mantra. Okay. Now uttering the mantra Om, Aim, Pat, sprinkle some water 3 times on the deity. When you have to do the sprinkling, how to do it? I have told you. We have to use that darba grass, that bunch of darba grass tied with a thread. So take that water. It is always dipped in the koshika where it contains the sacred water, Amritikarana water with all the 7 rivers in the what you call that process called Samanya Arghya. So sprinkle that water, some water 3 times. And the mantra also is to be uttered 3 times. Om Aim Phat. Sprinkle some water 3 times on the deity. There may be Baneshwar Shivalinga. You may be worshipping on the Salagrama. You may be having the image of the deity also. So sprinkle that water from the Samanyargya, which is purified, which is Amrita, on that deity. And imagine that all the obstacles in the deity, whatever in that metal or stone or that linga, that thing is removed by that mantra, uttering of the mantra, and also sprinkling of the water on that. So 3 times on the deity picture. If you have a picture, sprinkle water on the picture or image, whatever it is there you are worshipping now, as well as the articles of worship. You have so many articles of worship, kosha, kushi. Then on the side we have the plates to keep the flowers. Then we are keeping so many other things, the agarbatti stand. Then we have the lamp lit there. There were all different articles. So many articles are there for puja. So all the puja articles are to be purified by sprinkling of this water and also uttering the mantra Om Aim Phat. So now again I will go through the process and the mantra. Uttering the mantra Om Aim Phat. Sprinkle some water 3 times on the deity, picture or image, as well as on the articles of worship. Now after doing this, uttering the mantra Om Aim Phat, the last step in this is in the Devata Puja Dravyadi Shuddhihi, purification of the deity and the articles of worship. The last process is then show Dhenu Mudra on all the what you call the deity and also the all the object of worship. That means you are making it nectar like. I've explained about the Dhenu Mudra. Again, I will explain it to you how to put that Dhenu Mudra and also what is the process behind it. I'm going to explain that Dhenu Mudra. Then we will end the class today because we have already completed the class. I think in the beginning I had made a announcement whereby you can ask question, type the question, and if I see the question, then I can answer that on the subject, today's subject. Okay, it's only for the question. Now, how to perform this Dhenu Mudra? What is Dhenu Mudra? Dhenu means cow. We all know that. Dhenu. Again, how to pronounce that? Dhe. It is not they. It is The. Mahaprana. Dhenu Mudra. Dra is elongated. So the head of the A will be putting that elongation mark. Here we have not put it by mistake. Mudra, M-U-D-R-A, elongation. Dhenu Mudra. Okay, now we will go forward to see what it is. Crossing the fingers of both the hands. Join the tip of the little finger of the one hand with that of the ring finger of the other, and the tip of the forefinger of one hand with that of the middle finger of the other. Keep the thumbs of both the hands joined together. So the picture also is shown there from different angles. You can learn it. It's very easy. Then again, I will demonstrate it now too, so that again you will be in a position to understand it. So now this is the hands like this. Okay, how to do it? Very easy. See this thing. Very simple. The thumbs is joined. See, from the sideward direction, from the another direction. So easy. Just tip of the thing. I have to explain this. Dhenu Mudra. And you have to show on the deity, either the Shivalinga or the image or the photo, and also articles of worship, thinking that what is the process? It is just like the udder of the cow. That mudra shows it is just like the udder of the cow. So I will go on explaining now. Again, I will tell you about the Dhenu Mudra. I have demonstrated it and the picture is also there on the screen. Crossing the fingers of both the hands, join the tip of the little finger of one hand with that of the ring finger of the other, and the tip of the forefinger of one hand with that of the middle finger of the other. Keep the thumbs of both the hands joined together. So in the second there, the first one it is the process, and the second one is the thumb is also joined. The first process, the first step, the thumb is not joined, but in complete Dhenu Mudra, the thumb also is to be joined. You can see the two thumbs are joined in the second picture there. So on the screen, keep the thumbs of both the hands joined together. This mudra represents the udder of the celestial cow, Kamadhenu. It represents the udder of the celestial cow, Kamadhenu, whose milk is considered nectarine, Amrutam. By showing this mudra, the worshipper makes the items of worship, offerings, etc. nectarine. So it is transformed into nectar. Hence, this mudra is called Amrutikarana mudra also. Hence, this mudra is also called Amrutikarana mudra. So, Dhenu mudra is also called Amrutikarana mudra because it transforms the things on which this mudra is shown into nectar like. So, it's called Amrutikarana mudra also. So, the mudra represents the udder of the celestial cow Kamadhenu, whose milk is considered nectarine. By showing this mudra, the worshipper makes the item of worship, offerings, etc. nectarine, transforms it into Amrita. So I've told many times what is Amrita. Amrita. Mrita means death. Amrita means immortal. What is immortal? It is Atman. What is Atman? It is consciousness. So the whole thing which we are seeing here, the puja article of worship, it may be linga or saligrama, we feel that may be a stone or a metal or the image or the photo. So that bhava, that maya is gone, and we will start thinking that as nectar, like that is consciousness. So that is the idea behind this. So we have completed the different process here. So for today, this is enough. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।